folks, grab your cup. Living life with F&D, we won't give up. Spill your coffee, hey, that's okay. We'll laugh it off and seize the day. Sip happens, but we're alright. With Sarah's mug, we'll win the fight. Science stories, laughs and fun. Morning chats for everyone. So take a sip, don't spill the brew. Join the chat, it's made for you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Good morning, everyone. I know I'm popping in. I didn't schedule those. Hey, Flash fan. I just got done pre-recording, collabing with the Gaslit Truth Podcast. So I had fun doing that. I feel like I ran a marathon. So that was great. So look out for that. And I wanted to pop in, say hi, bug you guys a little bit, let you guys know how it went. Like anything, didn't get a lot of the stuff that I wanted, but it is what it is. So that is okay. That is all part of doing YouTube, letting it flow. Yeah, I saw 3 of you and then you left. Anywho, what are you guys up to? Yay, it's Friday. Yay, I don't even know how. I don't know. Works. Here, we'll just do this. Yay! Cheers! Oh my goodness. That's good. That is one thing as a massage therapist I know how to do. But DC is too far away. Sorry. And I'm not flying. In today's world, we do have a pilot in my family, and I have yet to get a ticket. I'm going to have to get after this family member, get a ticket, and go see best friend. Have fun. Yeah. If you ask me about 19 years ago, I would have laughed at you about fixing washer and dryers. Folding laundry. I know how to fold laundry like origami. Yeah, I know. I need to get after them. But they're technically a step, so I don't know how much of a discount I would get for that. But this family member is one of my favorites, but they're so busy being in the air that I can't, call and text as much as I would like to. But anywho, yeah, I love this doing this YouTube stuff. I think it's helping me overcome this. I think I should have done this a long time ago. A long time ago, I kind of dabbled in it, but didn't have much progress. And the dumb thing is, I got people in my head about it being stupid or immature, and I would never make money doing it. Yeah, I know. You won't make much, but with that, I didn't talk about this in my collab today, but I'm going to talk about it here, and that is the fun thing is, let me find it. Go back here. We're going to talk about... Where did it go? I write so much and then can't find it. We're going to talk about pain today. Did you know that your body keeps score of all your trauma? It's just like, yeah. Did you know that if you ask 20 people, you're going to have 20 different pain ranges? There are actually 2 pain scale ranges. The typical one that is used, and I call it the stupid pain scale range, that you typically see in the doctor's office, where you have the 0 to 10 pain scales. This is mostly made for kids with, that get hurt, and this is also used mostly because the other one is too complicated, especially when you are disoriented from, pain from surgery, and but it's mostly, with the, if your pain is a 0, it's a smiley face, and then you got the tears crying because your pain is, off the chart. Typically, you are gaslit if your pain is off 6 or 7. Anything after that means you've broken a bone, or you need surgery, or you're impacted by your mental health. And then of various degree. I call it the stupid scale because this scale does not work for people that have chronic health issues, chronic pain. The McGill pain scale is for people that have labor pain, CRPS, fibromyalgia pain. Now, functional neurological disorder, or FND, is not on that scale, but it should be. And I think if CRPS is on there, then FND kind of clumps in with that. And that pain range can go much higher, depending on how you feel. Pain is a biopsychosocial phenomenon. This is any event or condition that is understood by considering that it can be biological, psychological, and social dimensions. Did you know that we are hyper-focused only on the biomedical with prescribing these psychomeds, pain meds? And then, if we're so hyper-focused, we're missing 2/3 of the puzzle. So we're only focusing on 1/3 of the puzzle. So we are gaslit or trained to, I guess I should reverse that. Did you know that we are gaslit or trained to treat specific problems, such as pain is exclusively back pain or exclusively foot pain or migraines? Your pain affects your whole body. But did you know that phantom limb pain, where do you think that stems from? Comment down below. Does it come from your brain? Does pain come from your brain? Does it come from your stomach? Why do we say trust your gut? Comment down below or comment in the chat if you know the answers to that. I thought that was a little bit of fun, little key points to kind of get you chatting and talking about that in the comments. So, anywho, if you experience pain, comment below. What is your pain range? Let's see who has different pains. I'd be interested to know who suffers from chronic pain. So that is your homework for today. Let's see here. What do I want to talk about? I don't think I've gotten, let's see here. So I think the last time I talked about my story, and if this is a repeat, this is a repeat, but I got discharged from the stupid hospital and they transported me to the homeless shelter. We kind of collabed and got me back to the normal hospital, where I stayed there probably 4 or 5 days, give or take. I think it was 4 or 5 days, something like that. And where they got me situated with physical rehab. And so I'm not really paying attention to chat. Sorry if I'm like not paying attention to you guys, but so this physical rehab, I stayed there, let's see here, probably 3 weeks. I don't remember. I would have to look. Let me kind of look at this calendar. Oops. I want to look at this calendar. Let's see here. I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks. Let's see here. Something like that. I don't remember. But the funny thing is they put me on the bike, which was sitting right across the street was this stupid psych hospital. And that was the problem that caused me to start having these episodes. And then the other problem was that these primary care physicians were independent contractors, and they would, I don't know, there was a veterans hospital next door, and then this rehab, and then the psych hospital. So I don't know about the veterans, but I'm sure they were like contracted to, rotate around to these 3 hospitals. So that triggered me. Anytime, especially this one, all 3 of them triggered me. Anytime that they would like literally come up in this one doctor, he had absolutely no, like, I thought he was kind of autistic or Asperger's-y, but he would never, like, is it okay for me to, use my stethoscope and check my lungs? And then he didn't see me at the cafeteria. They did this in the cafeteria. Why do it in the cafeteria? Do it either in the patient's room for privacy, and then, or in the rehab area, or, have a office exam room or whatever. That irritated me. Nothing like eating your meal and listening to other patients about their bowel movements. That was like their typical question. How's your bowel movement today? And then that one doctor, anytime he had like PTSD and start having, episodes. So then I would get carted back to my room with my food and loaded in bed, lights flipped on, left in there. That was the only other problem. And then there was a nurse who just, I'm like, you need to find a new job. She just gave me bad vibes anytime that I had to go use the loo. I was like, go find another patient to work with. But there was I don't know if he was a tech or a nurse, I don't know, but he had me, and this clinic, I think, was kind of like family run, so there were like a bunch of nurses and techs who were phenomenal. They loved their job. They did their job. Made sure that they checked on you. No questions asked. Made sure you had your snacks and, came up, brought you, ice cream or whatever. The cafeteria there was those. If that one cafeteria person, if he was married, I would marry him on the spot. He knew you by name. He knew, your issues, chit-chatted with you, knew what you liked to eat, because after a while, I want to say 3 months, give or take, hospital food was getting just the disgusting. Nothing sounded good. And then just being doped up on all sorts of medications. It was really killing my system. So, yeah, so I'm hoping that he's still there. I think I'm gonna. I've been wanting to go back to that rehab and see who's all there still, and you know, see if I can do an art piece and have them hang it up. And then I liked that once you graduated, all the staff would line up. You got to pick your own song. And I literally gave them a whole list of songs. And then they didn't really clap. I don't recall. Or, clapped really softly because they didn't want to trigger me. But cheered me on down the hall. Everybody, and then there were other patients, some of the PT staff would come out and bring their patients to show off what they do at graduation. So that is something that if I got back into massage therapy and running my own practice again, that is something that I would carry on. And then you got this diploma, and then they were supposed to give me, because I lost my apartment and got a new apartment situated with help of my support, and they were going to give me sheets and get me set with because they knew that I was going to crash hard. So, but we forgot, whatever. And then I want a job there. That's how much I like this place. So I did put my application. So if you're out there and you see this and you see me and you remember me, yeah, talk to your boss. And even trying telling the director that I wanted a job. And not the director, the head of PT, and then the senior PT who was my PT person, and that kind of evaluated and got me situated with an AFO, a better AFO, and evaluated and discharged. So, and then my 2 PTs and then my OT were awesome. If you're out there, big hearts. So then I got discharged, got into my new apartment. Roommate from hell, let me tell you. Now this apartment is for recovery, not physical recovery, but it was the only spot kind of people knew me, and then I asked for help, and they know them, and small town. So they opened their doors. So I'm here for, different reasons, physical. But yeah, the other building, somebody was a cat hoarder at some point and was letting the cats come in and urinate, and so yeah, that was not fun. Not fun at all. It burned your eyes. It was so bad. I haven't gone over there to see if it's improved now that they've regulated cats, and yeah. Uh, so before I was discharged, I had to do this, come over, and both my physical therapists, both physical therapists did this kind of evaluation, check if, I needed anything in regards to accessibility, and I was a little gut was my intuition was something ain't right, but I went with it because it was the only option, and people, my support did all this work, and I was too tired to even, remotely, something ain't right, I felt bad vibes instantly. So then I was discharged. They dropped me off here. Still, they were even a little sketched out too. They were do we have the right place? And da 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 da, So even So I'm the type of person, sit down with you, kind of get a vibe, talk to you, see what you need, want, what I can do, boundaries basically, And then I had no food. I thought my stuff at my other apartment got discarded. So I was without pretty much everything. And it was going to be a couple days before, support to bring me, pretty much anything. So luckily this apartment, sometimes the restaurants around here will donate food that's going to expire that night, that next day or a couple days. So kind of survived on that for a few days until support could bring me groceries. And then and what else? Brought me some new linens, and I basically crashed. Yeah, being in and out of hospitals is no fun at all. So I just felt like this person had weird vibes. Weird vibes. Yeah. They had had trauma, and I can't really disclose what hospital trauma, basically. We'll just stick with that. So they were kind of, few screws up there, and I'm like, I'm too tired for any of this. And then she started grooming, and I was trying to ignore it, but my personality is a magnet for that crap. And it wasn't a week later where I was just like trying to get comfy. I'm like, oh, we didn't have internet. We didn't have cable established. I was like, not really any antenna either. So there was not really much TV, and I was like, I gotta watch TV or do something and chill out and not be in my bedroom all the time. Try to move forward and, not sleep all day, because otherwise I'll have issues sleeping. And I'm sitting there trying to, eat something, I think, and this person comes out, and literally the common areas, there were no plates, no dishes, no silverware, no microwave, everything was in this person's room. There was just 2 chairs, a couple plants, TV stand, and a few cat toys. So no table, nothing but, cabinets, sink, and the fridge. So not even anything in the bathroom. She started yelling at me that I needed, like, this apartment was so clean. Like, there was no need for any vacuuming, maybe a deep cleaning, like the rugs needed a deep cleaning. But she started yelling, and that started an episode. And that caused an episode, and then I went to the emergency room because, that's when the EMT pulled my arm, told me to stop faking. I even remember vaguely that, and it might be the other time that she called, that I might be mixing up. But yeah, and then it was that one because the second round, that's when the doctor told me to stop faking, and he would be right back. Yeah. And so there's nothing, no medication, no. They gave me something which made me so psycho. Like anxious. It made me more anxious. And then so I came back home after spending, I want to say, a few hours. Got a little bit of sleep, I think. And then it wasn't even hours later, she started banging on the door. Apparently, and I had to scoot on the floor to get out to the living room. This is after hours of her banging on the door, causing me to have seizures, falling out of bed, hitting my head on the wall because it was kind of tucked in. And then a couple days later, all because I think I had the seizure and I fell out of the chair, and I had a packet of gummies that I was eating. And it got left on the floor. Normal person is going to be like, oh, she dropped something, I'm going to throw it away. That's a normal, healthy response. She could have thrown it away. So then, I want to say, next day, she would go back and forth between the bathroom, and she had to wear an oxygen, so she was attached to an oxygen line. So I would hop over that with my walker, and I was still having trouble with coordination with my leg, so I would have to pull my pant leg up sometimes, and then get over her line. Her cat constantly would try to get me in trouble. Because then she would be in the restroom and she would tug on the stupid oxygen line. The cat would be out there playing, and then she'd bitch out at me, like, and then I'm walking, trying to get over the line, and she starts bitching at me, and then all of a sudden, I spin out, fall, having a seizure. I think this was about the third time, and this was the second time, sorry. She started, I think she called the cops and the EMT. I'm laying on the floor, starting to lose consciousness at this point. Because I vaguely remember them having to get, sheet or something and carry me out that way. Yeah, so I think that was the one where he pulled my arm. My affected arm, and now I still can't, fasten bra, limited range. I can still feel it. It's sublux and injured at the same time, and then PT still hasn't done much of anything with it. Like, I wish I had a clone of myself for a little while so that I can do my own therapy, and really see and make sure that there is no micro tear. And I'm very, very, very good at detecting bursitis, micro tears, and after 20 years, I can detect limitations in there, and do different techniques and holds, and can release frozen shoulder issues slowly but surely. Yeah, I've done a lot with that, and then hips, very complex. I can, if you're in the state of Indiana, locally, if you need help, frozen shoulder, and PT's not doing anything, come and see me, coordinate with me. But with the transportation's an issue, and I've lost my strength with this too, to 20 years of strength. I used to be able to lift 300 pounds, cryo tank. Now I can barely lift a gallon of water. I can lift that, but 40, water bottle, I have to drag it, and then it really causes me pain. So, yeah, it's very annoying that I'm struggling to get PT to help me, because I don't feel safe to do, lifting and doing weights and, working myself up if I'm having episodes. And overexertion causes episodes, I'd rather be safe than sorry, so but the hard part is, in my head, I'm going to ruminate, this is my fault, but it is not my fault at the same time. I thought I was doing the best thing. So, yeah, but the nice thing is now I have the best roommate. I'd take her anywhere. Got crazy. She was crazy. And then she was putting, one of these days I'm going to have to put her Post-it notes on YouTube. She put toilet bowl cleaner in the tank, put a Post-it note, taped a Post-it note, a reminder to close the toilet seat every time I used it. I couldn't use my toilet paper because she would snatch that, hoard that. Yeah, she wrote out that, if I didn't close the toilet seat and if her cats drank it out of the toilet, like these cats, she had literally had them on a leash. She would bark at them and jeez, that she would sue me if the cats would drink this. So I was like, I'm gonna keep the peace, try to figure something else out, housing wise. Hopefully this is temporary. And then what else did she do? Oh, she was gonna sue me for leaving the wrapper on the floor if her cat ate it. Instead of picking it up, she was gonna sue me for that one. And she noted this on my door. Because I was like, I'm not dealing with you, bitch. You were psychotic. Yeah. And then what else? She did that. And then, like, I had a family support that came and brought, groceries finally. And then, well, this family member, put, it was in a plastic bag, rolled, beef in the refrigerator. And she did put it in a bowl. Like this crazy lady, after that, she took away the bowls and utensils. She did give me utensils to use just to tide me over until my support could bring, other stuff for cooking and stuff. And she took all that away because my family member put meat in the refrigerator. So I got a write-up for that. And then support came over to just chit-chat and figure out stuff. And so I sat in one chair and family member sat in another, and we got written up for that because that chair was, my chair was not supposed to be sat in because, Medicare, paid for it because it was a lift chair. Oh my goodness. And then she would say crazy stuff that, this person was hot or whatever. I'm like, really? Okay. That's uncomfortable. And there was one other write-up. Oh, and then I finally got the energy to shower, and I left my washcloth or my soap or whatever in the shower to dry. Couldn't do that. Got written up for that one too. I don't remember if she's confiscated my shampoo or whatever. I don't remember. It disappeared. And then I finally had, got toilet paper and snatched that up. Like we were in, jail or whatever. Had to, make sure I took my toilet paper back into my room. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. If you ever own property out there, you're on the first floor, have people with mobility issues, tile is best route. Especially with walkers and wheelchairs, always put tile in your property. Yeah, it's a little cold in the winter, but I'd rather be cold than hot. But yep. So, and then she got evicted, and then I would hear, people, that knew her. She was still gabbing, raising hell about me, you just don't do that crap. Psychotic. So, yeah. Well, guys, gosh, gabbing for a little while. And I haven't paid any attention to you guys. Hang on here. Flip screens. Yeah, the doctor. You lost your appetite? Did I lose you? I thought I made you lose your appetite, but so yeah, I think those 3 months, and then get this, our rent increased that following year by $75 every 3 to 4 months. I mean, it wasn't. Everybody got a letter. So I'm like, so that's like $225, $300, somewhere around there increase. So. Oh. Did you accidentally leave something in your pockets and put it in the dryer? Put your crayons in? I'm notorious for leaving Kleenex, pens, and then for a while I found I was using these little itty bitty containers, just enough massage lotion, so then I didn't cross-contaminate my bottle of lotion, and it would screw on, and then I would forget, so I could put, it in my pocket, and then, grab lotion and do it that way, and then, so I would leave those in my pocket, and that would get everything gunky. Is it melted on your dryer? if it's smelted on rubberish or goop or whatever, and if it has a smell, you might want to consider getting a new dryer or a new dryer drum, because you don't want a fire, because that is gonna stink up everything, and yeah. That takes me back to, I was in first grade and my sibling was in high school. That's how far apart we are. And we rode the same bus. And our dog would stop and pee and do a headstand and pee doing headstands. She would pee on the mailboxes, anything taller than her. She was a little dachshund. And one night, we let her out, and I guess she thought the skunk was our cat, which our cat, black and white, tuxedo kitty. So she was relatively still young enough, puppy-ish. But the skunk sprayed her. That skunk smell ruminated through our whole entire house. All our clothes, everything smelled for quite a while. The dog, she still smelled when we had to put her down. That dog lived to be 19 or 20 years old. That's a long time. But she didn't like people. She couldn't see, couldn't smell, couldn't hear. Bless her heart. She lived a long life, but she stank for many of moons. We tried everything. Tomato juice, other hacks. But a lot of stuff, I could still remember that smell. There was a lot of stuff that still smelled after that. And then it wasn't not like a couple years later where we let another cat out, different cat, and he came back in and I was like, sniffing. That smells like skunk again. Damn it. Of course, I was like 7 at that time. And, well, sibling put silk or something that wasn't supposed to be in the dryer, like high school, don't know how to do laundry. Yeah, so that caused a little micro fire. But we had, I want to say, 5 fire trucks, 3 or 5 fire trucks, 5 cop cars. I think there was 1 or 2 ambulances. It was like we had a hill Our house was on the top of the hill, kind of this steep L-shaped stairs. Like, this house was huge. And literally the fire guys chucked it, and it like kind of rolled off down the hill and blew it out. Big old fan trying to, yeah, our house smelled again for quite a while. But back to the, I forgot one little piece about the skunk. So my sibling and I rode the same bus, high school, first grade. She went to the back, and she was like giving me the eyeballs of death. Because I was just like going down the aisle. Yeah, we got sprayed by a skunk last night. She wanted to kill me. So I apologize if you were bullied or, made fun of in high school because of that. First day of school too. So what a way to start. Oh, so get your, if it's like nasty, crusted, and goopy, yeah, you probably need to invest in a new dryer. And I think the front loader washers, I think I had a Samsung, and I was having a problem with the little itty bitty sensor. Because once it was like spinning, it would knock that little sensor off. And no matter how many times I tried to, I think it needed to be welded somehow, some way. So I was like starting to venture into a new washer set. And I bought it on Marketplace too. So I was like, if I'm having this problem, I don't want to have a, fire. And it was my business too, so that would not have been good. So always buy fresh new, make sure it's under warranty, all the things. What else? So that was a little fun little story of Skunky. But at least I got, when we had the house fire, the dryer fire, I got to spend time with my bestie down the street. So her mama came and got me, and yeah, spent the night. If you're watching out there, my besties, I missed you guys. Like, my childhood besties. I haven't seen them for years. Like, I saw their parents many, many moons. So, yeah. Maybe I need to hunt down. Her parents still live in the same house. 40 years later. Yeah. So, time flies. Who else is in here? I see 3 people. I'm debating on getting more coffee. Man, doing, podcasts and recording, I think that's just like pre-recording makes you anxious. I like doing this live because then you can just go with the flow and, if you make errors, you make errors. And it's like at the end is like this whole, you've ran a marathon. It felt liberating telling the story and hashing it out, I don't know if I want to do this 5K walk. I don't know. It's so hard because, yeah, I know. Everybody's investing in the Karen Reed trial. I could care less. Like last night I was MG Law. I'm like, I'm glad that I'm a medical massage therapist. I mean, every job has, the ups and downs and crazies that I would not like being an attorney and dealing with stupid shit every day. I'd be like, okay, you're good. You're guilty, Go to jail. Nobody needs to listen to your shit. Oh, my Lord. Oh my gosh. Shizzy. The Muppet. It's just hilarious. He was on a roll yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, if you guys want me to do caring stuff, I honestly don't. I would have to have an insider who's an attorney to kind of help me, and I would have to write everything down and read off a script and I'd rather an attorney that knows, the system and how all that works. It's just like asking an attorney to be a medical massage therapist, you know? So I rather do my own thing, have my own fun, entertain you. I mean, I don't mind reading off court cases. I am probably going to venture into the Natalia Grace and maybe, I don't know, Delphi. I mean, it's already kind of over with. And at 2, it's like too close, you know, and then I do want to do the Maya case, even if it, you know, it's a repeat. Sorry, I'm fidgeting. This is just, I'm not ADD. I'm not anxious. It's just, I think it's just natural for anybody to fidget. And no, I'm not autistic. So don't diagnose me. It's not PT. Maybe it is. I don't know. Because I had to rehash my story. And I do notice that, you know, it's a coping skill. That's all it is. Gypsy Rose is psychotic. End of story. Go back to jail. Go back to prison. You know what you did. You psycho. Natalia Grace, psycho. I'll save everybody the money. Psycho. Gotta remember, I've been locked up with psychos. Yeah, Natalia Grace. She was adopted, and her adopted parents, it was basically human trafficking, adoption, fraud. These Indiana people got, you know, caught up in that. I think she had reactive attachment disorder. The mom I think the mom had Munchausen and or just psychotic, and then I think she was Natalia was a sociopath, and so, and kind of reactive abuse. Regardless of, having dwarfism and all that. Even it was so toxic. And then the people that finally adopted her got caught up in her drama with her sociopath. I think she's using her dwarfism as a means of, because there's a pattern there. And now I think she's in New York and living with a couple that family that has dwarfism, and I think they're getting caught up with her ways. She crazy. And then this Indiana family is, using religion and it's crazy. It's crazier if it's in your, state or your town or whatever, or close to your town. So anyhow, just all of it, stay away from me. If you want me to do it, I'll do it. Maybe I thought of a good idea, and you might bug Squid, because I think she would be a good person. Like the next time she gets sick or something, or gets too busy, and I thought it would be fun to raid her YouTube, and she can definitely do it on mine and just have fun. Maybe for mine, she would have to, do the dual, where she runs hers and runs mine at the same time or something. I don't know. Anyways. So I thought it'd be fun to just raid hers and, have her give me homework and read off of some of these and court cases. And I put my own little twist on it. I thought that would be fun, but it's an option. She doesn't have to do it. She don't want to, but it would be fun doing it with Spawn Trooper. I'm game. And then try to grift for her. That would be funny. I really don't like the word grifting. Hustling is a little bit better word. Everyday hustling. So yeah. You do what fancies you. Fancy schmancy. I don't know. I don't know where I spew out all this. The mind is wonderful. Maybe it's because I watch too many YouTubers and learn too much. It's all your fault out there. No, I'm just joking. I'm doing my own thing, having fun. Being me is important with this. I have experience in the hood. I do, where else am I gonna learn this crap? Yeah, I'm live in Indiana. I've seen some stuff. Yeah. But it's good to learn stuff. Because I think it honestly makes you, not take in, let's say, abuse or, not put up with crap, yeah, sometimes it does mess with you, especially if you have PTSD. Makes you a little bit more hypervigilant, more anxious, when you are in a weird environment or, in sticky situations. But and I think I used to drive for Uber and Lyft. And so I would, end up in like Gary, Chicago, and being a female, it's good. I think it's good. I think it's good for women to learn taekwondo or jiu-jitsu, carry pepper spray, do all those things. I think my profession has a lot to do with that too, because the aspects of the prostitution, sex trade, human trafficking, happy ending, and all that. And when you get customers, and I say customers, not patients, because when you turn into a patient, then, I don't deal with, your BS. But I say customers in the sense they're ignorant, they're arrogant, they try to pull a fast one on you, they think, massage is, all about sex or happy ending. And so if you want to, bring that crap in my clinic, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You're going to get written up. You're going to get blacklisted. You are going to talk to cops. We're going to talk about you in the medical massage industry for protection. Yeah, taser is good. The other thing is that I've learned that it's always good to have protocols, procedures that, protect you in massage therapy. So from making sure you have waiting areas, separate areas, exits. I'll probably dive into more of this, the crazy stories that I've dealt with, from stalkers to crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. It's been a fun. I think I don't have as many experiences as, but I have enough that, I make sure that I'm safe. And I do, procedures and come up with ideas to make it even safer and having a state cop who had, insides with, FBI, who used to do raids, human trafficking and sex, massage parlors. That helped me a lot, because I could, tell them, hey, I need a buddy or whatever. Or can you, send a message to, your buddy in the FBI. But unfortunately, now he's passed away, and so yeah. Yeah, the good stories is, giving somebody extra months to live because of cancer. That one was my first patient ever. Found skin cancer, and it was, rapidly growing. I was like, and it was in a spot that, on your back. You can't really see your back. So with that, summer is coming and is here. And I think I read that this year we're going to have, crazy hot weather. Probably a good time to move even more north. So, I need a place where there's like not so much humidity and no tornadoes, no drastic weather. I don't know. But that doesn't seem to exist. No humidity. No crazy temperature change. Don't get burnt. Wear your sunscreen, but don't wear, high, SPF sunscreen, because if you wear stuff that overly protects you, then you're at risk too. So get your vitamin D, but be careful. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've learned a lot in my career, and I think people need to realize that also your privacy and modesty is crucial. You do not, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't need to disclose, just clothe, therapists can work through sheets, work through clothing, bring your shorts. Because we don't need that. Be considerate and modest, and anywho, yeah, you don't I think a lot of, the problems in my career stem from lack of doing proper consultations. I think that, and having a extensive, consultation where, you talk and you listen and you go through, the whole shebang of, sleep and, medications and, where you live and get all that info, who your doctor is, and I think that was like the piece that was missing, like when I was working for other, clinics and spas, because that also leads into misinterpreting, the place. And I think it also helped when I named my clinics and I use medical, terminology, and when I would talk to my patients and, use the verbiage, and whereas in a spa, I think that lacks, and then go over a treatment plan, and then, neuromuscular re-education, and then reevaluating, and then a nice cycle that helped, educating the patient, transition from customer to, this patient or client, classification. So that was important. And then, the programs, whether you were, twice a week, weekly, bi-monthly maintenance. I had like programs, and then I had maintenance or self-care program. So self-care would be, considered maintenance, and you come twice a month or monthly, depending on your schedule, my schedule. I don't typically care for bi-monthly maintenance because it ultimately, is a waste of money, the patient's money, time, you know, you're not going to have results, as in coming to see me twice a week or weekly, where you're going to see results, feel results. People are going to notice your results when you complete about 6 or 8 sessions. And my therapy was, centered on specific, but I focus on the entire body. So I could be working on your pinky, let's say, but I'm also focusing on cervical issues, but that might have a biofeedback, either up here or in your foot. So there's like a train effect. And I watch how people move, and if you're walking like this, all the time, or you're sleeping like this all the time, you're working, for hours and hours, yeah, you're going to have, numbness in your pinky. So We do pain management. So I'm going to spray you with Cryoderm, or I might extend that to Bauer, which is a next level, which is in my wish list. I do need more Bauer spray, so if you do want to send me a gift, feel free to go to my wish list, the medical wish list, and send me some. Get yourself some too. And then email me if you would like me to teach you how to use it. More importantly, if you email me and you are local, it's better, because then I can meet with you and treat you and show you how to use it. Because then I can kind of physically see what's going on with you and kind of go from there, and then know where to treat you. Because it's not only seeing you physically, but it's also, I can't see you on the computer and can feel that little twitch. I call it a twitch, where I either feel it physically when I have my hands on you, but it's also a vibe twitch. That sounds tasty. That sounds so good. I can't do soy Chinese food, but I can do other, I love sushi. I love sushi. So, you want to get me a coffee? Oops, wrong way. Get me a coffee. I'll actually spend it on sushi if you want. But if you don't have the money, if you have F&D, please don't send me, Cash App, coffee, because I understand if you have chronic disability, you're on a limited income, so but I can kind of teach you to find those trigger points, and I think I'm so hypersensitive. It's kind of a twitch. It's a kind of I can see it. Auras. Sometimes it's hard to explain, and it sounds woo-woo when I get into Reiki and all that. That sounds good. Pizza sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started on food stamps, and Yvonne, you're opening a can of worms for me. Yeah. Yvonne, question, does your food banks deliver? There's always a loophole being on government crap. It's a full fucking time job. Excuse my French, but it's gonna be crucial that I get myself to a point where I can have my career back. Even if it's just treating specific issues like rotator cuff specialists. It all depends. If you have lymphedema in your arms, I would be able to sit for that. Rotator cuff complex, restrictions. Like I said, that I can detect micro issues. And then neck and migraines has always been my specialty. Like jaw issues, like TMJ, that kind of stuff. What else? Feet, even though I'm not a really foot person, to be honest, because some people just have like grody feet sometimes, and especially if you go barefoot and walk in the summer in flip-flops or work, in steel, boots. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I think that's maybe the norm, but did I tell you guys that I missed my housing authority appointment? We played phone tag. I was hoping to talk to him on Tuesday. And yeah, overslept. So I have to start the whole process over again to get back on the waiting list. Or appeal it, but I think it's just, yeah. It's like always something. Because last Wednesday I had an episode, and then with that I was disoriented, and dissociation sucks. Like, I have no concept of time anymore. That's the other reason why I want to try to get back into massage therapy. Get my brain. Can I have a brain transplant? I think everybody wishes that. When they're all, funky and so. Pizza sounds so good right now. So I had to divvy in to get some, disability benefits out of my bank account and get food because food pantry, they delivered once and now they're telling me it's a one-time deal, and then all of a sudden now they have an app, but then I need a referral for them to deliver. And then, it's typical for somebody to say, oh, you can come pick it up, but I can't because I have a walker and physically I can't manage riding 2 buses there and 2 buses back, walk, no place to sit. It's just like having a disability and accessibility should not be a second thought. So maybe I need to stop with the massage, just say, if you call me, I'll refer you out. I'll always refer you out to whoever I think is the best option, whether it's chiropractic, PT, ortho, pain management, neuro, whatever. I will help you. You email me. You say, I am having trouble with X, Y, and Z. I had somebody laugh at me because you gotta set boundaries. You can't always keep giving your expertise or your knowledge without getting payment. You got to make a living. You got to pay bills. You got, life. So I was like, well, if I help you again, if I do another consultation with you, it's $20. And they laughed, and I'm so sorry. That's hard. And it's understandable, you spend time, with your husband for years, and yeah, that was the hardest thing. I don't believe in, I didn't want to see my mom after she passed. I didn't want to see her in that state. I don't even remember if they did the autopsy and all that. I just didn't, and I wish my siblings opted out on seeing, my mom as well, but each to their own. I wish I was able to, I wish I had gone up regardless of her saying that she felt like she was getting the flu. Because then, she passed away in December. And I think she stopped by and picked up my dog and was going to keep my dog, kidnap my dog. And then my dad ended up keeping my dog for quite a while. I just figured, they loved her, as their grand fur baby. So October to December, so I didn't really, and I had to work, and but I should have gone up there. And then that would have been, my last time. But, it is what it is. But had the sense that I kind of made all the decisions, but, like my siblings, did their part and whatever. I don't take 100% ownership, honestly. But so if you get that gut feeling, something ain't right, life is short. Very, very short. And take advantage of it. Be with your family. Be with, friends that, are your pseudo family. So, yeah. The hard part is I have this idea, and I hope she doesn't see this video or is watching. And I was hoping for my birthday, and then my besties 1 year, 1 day apart. I think it's time after, I want to say 7 years, to kind of reunite. And I think I want to take a train trip out and see her. There's going to be a little bit of a tricky part because I can't drive, and I want to say it's like $70 last time I looked. So I'm kind of figuring that part out. So I would like, if my family is watching this later, like, if you get me coffee, per se, I will essentially use the money in different ways. But most than likely it will go to coffee. But if I need a new pair of socks, or essentials, or pay rent or whatever, I'm gonna do that first, to make sure I have a roof over my head and emergency funds. But every once in a while, a coffee, Starbucks. After, maybe I should find that article. But friend of a friend, poor guy, his kiddo was, let's say soccer practice, and they're an entrepreneur, and there's nobody really in this coffee shop, and so he was like, I'm gonna, do some work while my kiddo's in, and then I'm gonna sit down and do this work, and then eventually he typically gets coffee if it's not too late, or uses the restroom, and that's typically what you do in the Starbucks, right? You sit, chill out, then you order coffee. Well, this stupid called the cops and kind of had a racial issue. Came over, kind of eagled around, had an issue, and came up and said, you need to order a cup of coffee. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna, get coffee. And I'm sure it was, not really in a time to get coffee. He just needed to utilize Wi-Fi. Apparently in Starbucks, from what this thing was, they no longer let you utilize their Wi-Fi, without purchasing. Yeah, that was just so wrong. So after that, and discrimination, trauma, regardless of race or disability, it affects you mentally, emotionally, regardless of how small it is, So, anyways, I'm so sorry, Yvonne, about your husband. That's the hard. Doing a eulogy is hard. No matter if who it is. Yeah, I would like to go to Europe. All these dreams. I need to. Yeah, Yvonne, I'm thinking about you. Email me if you need to talk. I'll be happy to chat with you. So, I've been going on for a while. So, anywho, what's new? Who else is watching? Who's lurking? Lurking. I wish this would tell me who's who's here. But that's okay. You're lurking and oh. That's cool. If you have connections, let's make my dreams happen. If you have any like connections that, tell me the best places to eat or stay, or willing to, give me a place to rest my head, that would be kind of cool. Because I have a German background, so I still went for I still have my mom's ashes, and she never got to go to Italy. We were like planning on it. She was like learning Italian. She got Rosetta Stone, and I want to say it was like $300, $600 at that time, and it was on CD. And I was watching somebody, and they mentioned Rosetta Stone is how they learned to get around town. And I need to look and see how much it is nowadays. It's amazing how technology is. Yeah, it's about $219, $300 lifetime. $399 was the original, and then monthly, whatever. So maybe I need to do that. But it was expensive when my mom was trying to learn it, and she was the old school learning, writing, and because she had the English background and major, so teaching, so nouns and pronouns and yada 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 yada. So now it's all online, and so we might do that. Maybe learn together. That would be kind of cool. That would be fun. So anywho, but I would like to take my mom's ashes and figure that out. Flying that long, probably confiscate mom. Might have to get like a necklace with the little, doodad or something. I don't know. I don't want to sprinkle all of her ashes. I want to kind of sprinkle it here and there and everywhere. In special places and places that, have meaning to me or her or whoever. So, I was watching something about Disney, and people's, trying to bring, ashes, and all they do is, brush the ashes and dump them in the trash. I'm like, that's kind of disrespectful, Disney, do better. Let them do, this memorial, naughty, Disney, but things change probably, and they probably get it a lot too. But just don't take your ashes to Disney. Try someplace else. So that's my take. So, anywho, well, you guys, this has been fun. Whoever is lurking, I think I'm gonna go eat. Pizza sounds good. Got a little bit of groceries to cover. I think I need to do better. I wish I didn't have to spreadsheet meals and figuring that out. Because I'm like going a week without, food stamps because I run out. And so I had to kind of get funds and spend funds on food. So, gotta figure that out. I think I'm done for the day, so I will catch you guys on another one. As you can see, my mood is like I'm done. So I will catch you guys on another day. Be happy that I did another video this week. I wasn't gonna waste my makeup, which has already disappeared, rubbed it off. So have a good weekend. I will see you Wednesday. And if I don't do it on Wednesday, I'll see you Thursday or Friday. Let you guys sleep in, and do whatever. That can go so wrong. Oh, crabs does sound good. Sushi sounds good. And I need like a friend buddy that, will go do sushi. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys on the next one. Give you some laughs. Do some more. Good thing I didn't do Rooster. See ya. I'm losing it. As usual. Love you guys. See ya.
Well, that's a wrap. The coffee's done, but our fight's just begun. We power strong like warriors do, living life with F&D and you. Sip happens, but we'll survive. The serious chats will always thrive. Stay fit, stay bold, keep pushing through. The next show's coming just for you. Remember, warriors, coffee fuels the soul, but your strength powers the fight. See you